All right. So here I am. I wanted to go ahead and actually make a thorough video kind of explaining how to do um, the Dragunity combo with different hands. These aren't going to be like they're not going to be actual duels that took place. The whole thing just reset anyway. So I kind of just wanted to go through and in solo mode and just kind of show off some of the combos just for the sake of showing them off and what different hands can do and how you can make your different inboards with each hand and kind of what to play through or what they can do, assuming that you have nothing interrupting you. And I did hit diamond last season, so just 'cause I felt like it. None of these actually matter. Personally, I don't know why. I always just like think like it's the Dark Magician deck. Whenever I'm in solo mode, it's stupid, but this is what I like to do. So I'm gonna use this one just so I can fully show off the combo and really just try to break everything down. I'm gonna do 2 going first, and I may do multiple resets going second to kind of show what you do with Dragunity Whirlwind and how that opens up options. But once you really see these combos, Dragunity Whirlwind should just kind of make sense on what it does. Okay, so here, this is a fantastic hand if we were actually playing ranked. The only downside to this hand being that we drew Kaoki Miru Dragon, and we really want that in our deck for a target, because as a target in our hand, we don't really get it back out of the graveyard. We know there's not going to be any hand traps, so the Sci-Fi Gamma and Call by the Grave is going to be terrible, but in an actual duel, you would play your Ravine, and if you saw any triggers on the activation of the Ravine, they had Maxx. This would mean you would play Legatus for the special summon, so you can trigger your Gamma and basically get a free Borolo Savage Dragon on the field. Obviously, we're not here, so we're going to instead show how to play if you were to open Sinitus, Phalanx, or if you open Ravine and just kind of any card and any other Dragunity card. Because you could use Ravine and get Remus and discard Remus to get Ravine, to play the Ravine to get Legatus, but you just went -2 for it. In this scenario, I only got rid of the 1 card out of my hand to then search the Sinitus. And so Sinitus is actually crazy. And I'm going to show you how we're going to make a full board. You want to grab Koos in this situation because we need him in the graveyard. We're going to make my full board minus the counter trap with this hand. So pretty much your opening play is always to get Gayzerg on the field. And we need to get to Romulus. Now, I always switch back and forth between Mist Valley Baby Rock and Gusto Griffin, kind of depending on what my hand's been consistently looking like. Gusto Griffin, if it's in your hand, is a target for Dragon Ravine, while Mist Valley Baby Rock isn't, but Mist Valley Baby Rock is less likely to end up in your hand. This part of the combo is pretty much always the same. Anytime you get Romulus, you get your Glow, so you can get Mistletoe. Unless you already have Glow in your hand, in which case you just get the counter trap card. And having Glow in hand is also really beneficial to playing through certain hand traps, because a lot of people will wait for either Romulus or your Gayzerg, and if you already have Glow, you're already good. And so here we're mainly just trying to loop the Dragunity Gayzerg as many times as we can to get the effect. And as I stated before, I always like to put my Sephiroth in the grave, and then my Samsara Dragon. Now, believe it or not, this is going to be full combo, assuming that our opponent, didn't have any hand traps. Which again, if they did, we could have played it a little bit differently to kind of force like the Maxx while we still had cards in hand, or if they had Maxx Ash Blossom, then Gamma would have hit the Ash Blossom, then you would call by the Maxx, and you're all good. And then here we're getting rid of Samsara Dragon. There's a couple of different versions where people would like summon Samsara Dragon off of Heretic King and then make the seal and then use the seal to bring out Red Eyes. I don't do it that way, and the reason being is that this is pretty much the only way that you're going to be able to get the why am I blacking out? The level 1 tutor, Majestic Dragon, because we need its trigger specifically for this. So we use Samsara Dragon, banish yourself to normal summon Mistletoe, who can then add Koos. We're adding Koos. So this is where, because I've shown combos where I make my board with Remus in hand, but this is how you make it without him. So we're still gonna get the Majestic Dragon. Still gonna put the Koos here. And now when we do Zephyros, so this part is where it's gonna get a little confusing. So we have what we need. We have one more discard. So this is why I played 2 Barshas. We're gonna play Barsha right now. And we're gonna put him in this zone. We're gonna do this. Special summon both the tuners. Then we can turn him into this. Because we're going to actually summon Erbeer normally. And then now, we do this. Ooh, now we have True Majestic. And an important thing here is we haven't... it doesn't matter what I get rid of because I'm not actually playing this true. We haven't special summoned Legatus. So now we special summon him again. Now I think, I slightly messed it up, but it's fine. Yeah, I slightly messed it up. I was supposed to get another Remus and then get the Legatus, but it's fine. So we can still make our Borlo. So we'll have 2 negates. Personally, I prefer having the seals, but it kind of doesn't matter. I slightly messed it up. We would have had the Remus, so we would have made the. It doesn't matter. Would have made him, and then I would have brought Remus back, and then made the seal, and then we would have had this card in hand. But that would be one variant on how you make that board. Like I said, I slightly messed up just going a little too quickly. But Sentences is still pretty much the full combo when you don't act like an idiot through it. And you can still play through a couple of negates actually with that setup. Okay, well this hand I can't show y'all anything with this hand. This is just a brick hand. So we're just gonna redo again. And I like this new change that they did for Master Duel where you're able to just hit retry instead of having to surrender and do all that extra. Okay, I'm going to show the combo with this hand. This is going to be a little bit not as good of a combo, but we have Glow. So obviously we would have to normal summon him, special summon him. So boom, that's like... You're gonna have a hard time. Like if this hand would typically lose to an Ash Blossom right here. So if they played Ash right there, you're still fine. You just play Glow and you just play through. You just don't basically just don't get your the trap. But you can still make your Borlo without Romulus and still could use your seal. That's the attachment. But now in this scenario, we could get Oblique. But if you want to play it safe, or if you're not playing Oblique, because you don't find it that good to consistently have, you could always get the Ravine. Ravine would still be pretty beneficial to have in his hand. I'm going to just show what I would normally do here. I would get Oblique, because I don't, most games, people won't have enough outs for you. So I'm totally fine with having Oblique. Just put it out my hand just so I don't accidentally do anything stupid with it. And then here, we're pretty much just doing the same loops. Now, one benefit is we already have Phalanx in the graveyard. So we're still able to kind of do what we need to do. But you do have a choice here. If you want to make Shooting Majestic, your board would be a little weaker. If you are okay not making Shooting Majestic, you could still make a pretty strong board. But I kind of think that Shooting Majestic for the most part is like really crucial. So we're going to still not play it though, because this hand actually won't allow me to play it. But we have the counter trap, so that's still better. Almost went by pattern. Okay. In this case, we're not going to make Shooting Majestic. We're just going to go with this. We're going to put that in the hand. I'm going to go ahead and make a seal. And then bring these two back, and it should be pretty crystal clear what we're doing here. And then we have this, so now we have the Monster Negate and Spell Trap Negate. We can get rid of Phalanx, bring back Phalanx. And then make Borlo. And then there we have it. And then during the opponent's turn, bounce the card from the hand, special KO Commuter Dragon, Lightning Dart, Floodgate, and we have our Monster Gate, Omni Negate, Spell Trap Negate on the counter trap. So if they try to play Forbidden Droplets, they have to get rid of a trap, or else we negate it. And even if they do get rid of a trap, we still have a Spell Trap Negate anyway, and we can still special summon into KO Commuter Dragon, so the Oblique would still protect you from Caught By, to allow you to still special summon this through that. So that was actually a really good hand to kind of show what your suboptimal hands could still do. And like I said, if you didn't have Oblique, you would still, or if you got Ash, you could still play Glow to still kind of make your board. Perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Dragunity Whirlwind in my hand. So I did want to try to show a hand going second, and this is literally the 2-card combo you want to have going second. Technically 3. Our opponent played perfectly. He just played his Dark Magician and called it a day. Now, Dragunity Whirlwind is pretty crucial. So I always play for Ash Bait with Remus. Okay? If I'm feeling them out, I'm like, alright, they haven't done anything. I'll still play Ravine, kind of see what's going on. But after a certain point, if they're not really doing anything, I'm just going to shotgun Whirlwind. Now, typically, we would have monsters on the field with like effects and stuff. So I would Dragunity Whirlwind, they would chain an effect, and then with Forbidden Droplets, I would send a Whirlwind and something else I could send off. In this case, would be Phalanx, even Glow, because we could still search a second Glow, to kind of just go ahead and combo off. So now we're going to do this. here, depending on what your hand is going to be really crucial. We already have a Remus in graveyard, so I don't need to bring out another Remus. We don't have a Koos in rotation. We have a Phalanx in hand, so we could just get Koos and get one of our Senators. I always like to keep my Legatus in deck. And from here, you have a couple of different options. So depending on, if you get Maxx Seed and you play this exact same setup, you go for this. So I'm gonna play this as if I was getting Maxx Seed, because if you manage to get rid of everything else, you want to get by summon 5 a monster negate for Nibiru. We're playing hypothetically. We're under Maxx Seed. All right, we're protected from Nibiru. Nibiru doesn't hurt us. But if this was our actual hand, and we have like play Forbidden Droplets, we sent out the Phalanx and the Glow, and now all we have is Red Eyes. This would alter our play just a bit, but you would still send the Red Eyes, get the Legatus, because at this point all you need now is just to get Vardra and just kind of blow up their field. So, but from here you pretty much just kind of do, if everything went as perfectly as this, you just do your normal combo. And this is why I was like, I don't necessarily want to show the whole thing going second, because like, what we're doing here now. The Glow is really good because it can give you that option. Or if you're playing against an opponent who plays monsters from the extra deck, then of course you can Glow into like, you can build your deck a little bit differently for it. But now we're just going to basically do the exact same full combo, except now we have a monster to get on the field. Thanks to Dragunity Glow, but I haven't used it by normal summon or a Legatus special summon. This also still gives us the Koos and Grave. It gives you Senators as a target. We already have Remus, so let's say our opponent decided to, negate one card, we could still play through. If you really needed to get your Gay Dirk in rotation, you could do so. Force him to try to negate that. Go for your Romulus, get the Romulus negated. You already had Glow in hand, so add that. You still have a normal summon or usually a Legatus special summon, so it opens up a lot of different options in terms of playing second. That hand proving kind of like there's so many different things you could do, because in that situation, if you did have to use Droplet, you just go into Gay Dirt and then just go into the rest of your combo if you had to get rid of most of your hand. So Dragunity Whirlwind is by far the greatest card you want to see going second in this deck, which is why I played 3 of them. Because you can't control if you go first or second. You don't ever search it, but if you do go second and you do open it with Lightning Storm, Infinite Impermanence, Forbidden Droplets, like you're pretty good off. And again, I don't want to have to do the whole combo thing again, but that's kind of what you could do here, and then still go into your Shooting Majestic and then blow up the field and all that stuff. So this deck is really good. It's really consistent. I mean, we only saw one hand that was unplayable. So for the most part, I built this to be very, very, very streamlined, to just kind of being consistent and playing through as much as we can. It's 44 cards. I could make it 40, because like as you see, I'm only playing 2 triple tactics instead of 3. Obviously I'm playing a Lightning Storm and Harpy's Feather Duster. I do want to break boards, but right now we're not in a meta where they're playing a whole lot of attack mode monsters. So at the moment I'm not using Regeki, but I have it in case I do. If I'm facing a whole bunch of like monsters on the field, I just swap out my Lightning Storm for the Regeki instead. But I've been seeing a lot more trap heavy decks, so Lightning Storm and Harpy's Feather Duster kind of does the job going second, and then you just discard it if you're going first and just kind of hoping. So you have a couple of starters, and there's also a lot of weird interactions that you have. There are some duels where like I drew Samsara Dragon and I had Ravine, so I sent Samsara Dragon. Oh yeah, if you open Samsara Dragon, Zephyros, those are like your 2 targets, or if you play Gusto Griffin, you send them off with Dragon Ravine, like as cost. If they try to like do something to negate you and you send off Zephyros, if they ash a Ravine, you just bring the Ravine back, play the Ravine, and then just kind of play through it. With 7-star Dragon, I was able to make a seal, and I already had a Mistletoe in rotation somehow. It was a really weird combo, but I was able to make my full board through interactions because I had hard drew the 7-star Dragon and discarded it with Ravine. So you have to also be able to kind of see some lines at some point. There is a little bit of that, but for the most part, this is a very straightforward deck. Once you learn the combo once, you kind of get it. And I still think that this variant of Dragunity is going to be the most consistent at going first and going second and playing in this meta where most of your duels don't go past turn 3. Because if you go first and you set up your whole board, most of the time your opponents aren't breaking you. If they do, hopefully you drew into a whirlwind, because that actually turns your entire combo right back on again. So that's why you don't see a Dragunity Dux in here at all. Because Dux is only good if you already have like Ravine, or you already had your Remus, you know, something like that. Dux is just really a turn 4, turn 5 card, and most of your duels are not playing that far where he would get that type of advantage. And if you open Dux and Ravine, you were better off just having Sinitus anyway, because you could just play your Ravine, search a Phalanx, normal your Sinitus, discard the Phalanx, and then play. And just say hypothetically, they had an Imperm. The way that you play through that is you play your Ravine, you search your Remus, actually, normal summon your Sinitus, discard your Remus for Sinitus effect, they hit you with the Imperm, and then you bring Remus out the graveyard and then continue to play. Or if they're like, oh, no, I know what you're doing. So you discard it, you get your Koos, special Koos, play Gay Dirk. Now they negate your Gay Dirk. Guess what? You bring your Remus out the graveyard, you play through. So, in every conceivable manner, going first, any scenario that you could play Dux, Sinitus is just infinitely better. Just infinitely better. The only way that Dux would be a decent choice is if you were playing a grass version, where you would already have sent these to the graveyard, and his normal summon would be very beneficial since you no longer have them in the deck to special off a Sinitus. But yeah, this is the best. Also have my blaster. I haven't added blaster. He doesn't really do anything in this deck. And this is also an extender for your Gay Dirk. This does allow you to play through. Its pendulum effect is this effect can't be negated. You can target one Dragon Fusion Synchro or XYZ monster in graveyard, destroy its card. If you do, special summon that target. So if you manage to get your Gay Dirk out already, this is just like another loop that you can do. I haven't experimented with it because honestly, it's just like a win more card. And like I said, I kind of wanted to keep the deck a little bit more consistent, because if you have that and Remus, you're already winning really hard. But I would much rather open Remus and Gamma or Call By. I don't want to open Remus and this if they have no interruptions, because most of the time once you get to a certain rank, they do. So hopefully this is a good kind of breakdown of it without like pausing through my opponent's plays and replays. And of course you can always still kind of like go through them, but I think this is a pretty good breakdown of what all the deck does. And just to kind of wrap it all up, the only other combination to really explain is the Gold Sarcophagus. You use this to banish your Tempest Dragon Ruler. When he's banished, he can add any wind dragon monster from your deck to your hand, and lo and behold, your best buddy here is Remus. And if you already have Remus, you add your next best buddy, Phalanx. And if for some reason you already have Phalanx, you add your next best buddy in Armogram. Yes, I am showing this royal because that was 14k gems. You can check my videos where I pulled this on stream. But that's everything. Thanks for watching. I will also do another tutorial video of Hieratic Dragons as well. That'll be coming soon.